Hello there. Well, we're back. It's another week. I'm sure I'll have people in the room here just very momentarily. And we'll get underway at 9:10 as usual. So let's see who will be first in. Got a helicopter flying overhead right now. There we go. Two people in the room. Three people. All right. We're starting to build here. Hello, Evan. Hello, Michael. Well, we had kind of a bumpy weekend, didn't we? Um, I'll talk about that a little bit. Well, let's see who else we get in here. Evan, I got your email. I don't know if you read my reply, but I don't think you have anything to worry about. I think you're fine. Yeah. All right, people, I'm going to call it 9:10. It's time to start. Um, First announcement, this is a little weeklet, we'll call it. Not a full week, but a weeklet. We'll continue to have regular instruction through Wednesday. So I will be holding my last regular class before the final. Hi, Stephanie, Stefan. I will be holding my last regular class before the finals on Wednesday. And then from Wednesday to Wednesday, the 3rd through the 10th, you are to take your finals. Fall registration continues. You know, I was just looking in at my fall classes, and an interesting pattern is emerging. I have more students in, and it's very noticeable, in my two distance ed classes, that is like this, than I have in my fully DE classes. I mean, the ones that are remote learning where we do get together at the same time, those are doing better than the full distance learning classes. You know, if that'll continue to be the case or not, or if that's the case with every course, every teacher, I don't know. Next announcement, tomorrow, 12:30, on the Discord platform with Stephanie, you will be going through final exam supplemental instruction. So bring your books, bring your notes. It should be a very lively supplemental instruction because a lot of people show up for that. Also happening tomorrow, there will be an on-campus food bank. Now, it does overlap somewhat with the final exam SI, but the food bank begins before the SI and it goes on after the SI. So if you need to hit both, I believe you can. Hello, Guy. I do feel that I need to acknowledge the events of the last few days and how it affects our city and our campus. And this morning in my email, I was a little surprised to not find an official statement from the president of Glendale College. I imagine that'll be forthcoming. What I did find, and what I thought was very thoughtfully written, was a letter from your student leaders, your ASGCC student government. And in a time where I think level-headed leadership is important, your student government drafted a pretty good letter. Let me read it to you. This was sent last night, Sunday night. We write to all of you tonight in hopes that you and your families are safe. In the wake of the murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Sean Reed, Tony McDade, and countless others, We are reminded once again of the systemic injustices and racial inequality still present in the United States today. We recognize that in the midst of everything, our Black peers will have to continue to fulfill responsibilities as a student, including attending class and studying for finals. Doing this while bearing the burdens of centuries of oppression and systemic racism that has led to the loss of countless Black lives only amplifies the stressors of being a student. As student leaders, we offer support and solidarity with our Black community on campus and call on our college leaders and the student body at large to do the same. We urge our peers to seek out educational resources and take action. We know that there is work to be done to advance inclusion and equality on our campus. We will continue to educate ourselves and our campus community on confronting and dismantling the ways that discrimination permeates our larger communities. Together, we can bring change. We stand with you in the fight for justice. Associated students of Glendale Community College. I think that you can be proud of your student leaders. Let's talk a little bit about final exams. If this was a normal semester, I would tell you, you must show up for the day and time that your class has its exam scheduled. However, I am letting you take your final exam asynchronously. The exam will open up on Wednesday, this Wednesday, and it will close the Wednesday after that. So it'll open on the 3rd and it will end on the 10th. Now, that said, I am contractually obligated to show up virtually for the day and time of your final exam. So I took a look at the final exam schedule, and for your class, the 9-10 Monday, Wednesday class, your final exam will be, it's formally scheduled for 9:10 to 11:30 on Wednesday. So I will be available through chat on Canvas. If you wish to email me on a private matter, I'll be available, just like a email office hour. That said, you don't have to take the exam at that particular time. Let's see. Did that make things clear, or did I just confuse people? Let me know in the chat box if you're confused, because probably others would be too. And, I don't want people to be confused. All right. Next thing. I'm continuing to get a student here and there who needs to have something they didn't do, a quiz, for example, reopened. This is kind of your last chance to ask me to do that. And when you do ask me to do that, please be specific. Don't just send an email saying, could you please reopen anything I may not have done? Be specific as to what you missed. And you'll know what you missed because you can just go in through your grade book and, then you can see what you missed. All right, on to the question of the day. And, this question of the day was written on Thursday before things kind of spiraled in a bad direction. And so it's, the question is a little dated, but I don't know. I think a happy, hopeful question, couldn't hurt at this moment. So I decided to stick with it. Also, before we get to the question of the day, I wanted to invite you to give me suggestions on what our last question of the day should be. What it'll be for Wednesday. Okay, but anyhow, so please feel free to send in your suggestions for what I'll do for the question of the day on Wednesday. Here is today's question of the day, and let's light up that chat box. What part of lockdown life do you like? And what changes caused by COVID would you like to keep? What part of lockdown life have you liked? And what changes caused by COVID would you like to keep? And while you're thinking about that, I've got to say that for me, the part of it that has been nice is to be able to walk around the neighborhood in the evenings, and people are out a little bit more. If they're not walking, the kids are playing in the front yard. Uh, there's less car traffic than usual, although that's beginning to come back up to normal levels. And so, I kind of hope that sense of neighborhood continues. Is there a part of lockdown life that you found, rather pleasant, that you hope, gee, we'll be able to continue? I hope we can continue that once the COVID emergency is over. What say you? What are your answers? So Evan is first off the line. Okay. Oh, Evan, that's right. You were in the Thursday class as well, weren't you? Yeah. Yeah, this is the second day I use it. I ask it for the Tuesday, Thursday, then the Monday, Wednesday. Yeah. Evan, yeah, that's right. You said that you were able to play video games during class. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one, Evan. I don't know how to answer that. Michael likes not supporting the movie theaters, moving to streaming only. Michael, I gotta say there is something about going out to the movies. It's a humble little outing. Of course, at the moment, boy, it's going to be a long time before we can pack people into a theater. I mean, when it does come back, it's going to have to be, every other seat. And, it's like, okay, couples and families can sit together, but not strangers. And, that's going to be a big thing to sort out, isn't it? Others, what part of lockdown life do you like? Michael, you feel robbed by the movie theaters. Yeah, I think part of what feels like you're being exploited at the movie theater is that generally the theaters don't really make money off of the ticket sales. Most of that goes off to the studios. It's the concessions where they have to make the money. And boy, do they make money on concessions, let's face it. Okay, Sophia, driving less is nice. A change that I would keep is that I can spend more time with immediate family because they're not leaving for work every day. Yeah. Taking travel time, commute time out of the equation. It's like having a 26-hour day all of a sudden. Yeah. So you can apply that time to other things. And, usually they're more pleasant things than just driving to and from work in a car, although I've been a bicycle commuter for these years. Evan is saying concerts won't be back until probably 2021. I think so. I live 3/4 of a mile from the Greek Theater. I know that the Hollywood Bowl season has been canceled. The Greek Theater season, most of it, if not all of it, is probably gone too. So yeah, you're right. Right. Stefan is saying, I'm getting to know my neighbors better. Yeah. Especially if in this current situation where, I know the last couple of days have been tense, but I can remember 1992 and the unrest in Los Angeles that happened then. At the worst of it, there were something like 700 fires burning in the city. So luckily, we're not there. And I really fear for the residents of Minneapolis that they don't have to go through something on that level. Okay. Anyone else? What part of lockdown life do you like? What part of this strange experience that we've had over the last 10 weeks do you wish that we'd be able to keep? Well, let me go to the media note and what you're doing with the lecture today. The media note is, you know, when I did this media note late last week, it seemed so topical, and now it seems a little out of date too. Today's media note is titled "Check This," and it's about the dust up that Mr. Trump and Twitter have had, where Twitter is beginning to slap warning labels and fact checking on Mr. Trump's more outrageous tweets. And so, all right, the typical NPR story, and then you will take the short media note quiz. And then I want you to finish up chapter 14. So you'll be starting chapter 14 at the slide about sensationalism, sensationalism, and go from there through the end of the chapter. All right, any last parting shots, comments, questions before I head on over to Canvas Chat? What do we got? Okay, guys, I'll see you over on Canvas.